What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. In this video, it's going to be a quick one. We're looking strictly at the rookie running backs. I just got done wrapping up a dynasty draft, and I was able to snag a handful of these rookie running backs. So I was just kind of curious, and I wanted to look at the history and basically see what round running backs were being drafted in the real draft, and let's take a look and see what their success rate kind of has been. And for me, I kind of found that you want running backs that are drafted, for sure round 1, round 2, those are good running backs to have. But rounds 3, rounds 4, there is some value in those rounds as well. And then it's very rare to find a running back in the 5th, 6th, or the 7th round. But there are instances where, hey, that works. So before we even look at guys in the 2022 class, for sure, Breece Hall, he's probably the first running back taken in your draft. Good running back to have. Yes, he has Michael Carter there, but the Jets are going to lean on him to run the ball. And with Kenneth Walker, the Seahawks are clearly wanting to run the football more. They've always wanted to run the football under Pete Carroll. They really haven't been able to be super great at it, but they have had some good running teams in the past here. So he's the clear number 2. It's a matter of can he catch the ball more and learn how to pass protect better. James Cook, the number 3 back, is kind of the main thing there. He's going to be a pass catching back for Buffalo, but there's a lot of bodies over there for him to get rid of. And then after that, you can have a huge debate at which running back to take next. So before we kind of come back to that, let's actually look at the 2021 class. And I'm curious to see, because I think it's very valuable to me where a running back was drafted. That tells a lot about what the NFL thinks about him, not only just the team that took him, but the rest of the NFL and where they were on their boards here. So, of course, last year, Najee Harris, the first running back taken, 24th overall by the Steelers. Basically, the hit rate on first-round running backs is pretty damn good. If you can get your hands on a first-round running back in dynasty leagues, you want to do that. So Najee Harris, and then there's Travis Etienne. He had the injury, the Liz Frank. That's basically a redshirt season for him. He's going to come back and play really well. So I think even if you drafted Etienne last year, you're happy with what you have. And hopefully he's going to be, putting up a really good second season and put that injury behind him. But either way, Najee Harris, Etienne, first-round running backs, both hits. The only running back drafted in round 2 of last year was Javonte Williams. And I think you guys know he's a pretty damn good back. So round 2 backs, fantastic. Round 3, only one last year. That was Trey Sermon. I still think he's a very talented back. He fell out of favor real early in San Francisco, and they clearly liked him, spending the 88th overall pick on him in the 3rd round. I mean, that's good draft capital for a running back, but it just didn't pan out. I guess his rookie season, we'll see what happens in the future, but so swing and a miss round 3. Round 4, though, you have a handful of running backs. Michael Carter, we know Michael Carter is a really good pass-catching back, so this is panning out well. I think if you drafted Michael Carter, he was probably a round 2 pick last year. You're happy with what you got. You got a really nice rookie season out of him. He's still going to be useful this year. Yes, they did draft Breece Hall, but anything happens to Breece Hall, you got a good running back. Carter's still going to be involved in that offense. Now, the rest of the 4th-round running backs, Keen Nwangwu for the Vikings, not sure he's ever going to get his day as a primary running back as long as Cook and Madison are there, but you like what you got there. He's probably a guy that's not on a lot of dynasty rosters, but if he is, he's just towards the end of your bench. Ramondre Stevenson, though, the Patriots take a 4th-round running back, and he was valuable at times last year. I think if you drafted Ramondre Stevenson in the 3rd round last year, you're probably pretty happy. So we see a couple 4th-round guys here. Same with Chuba Hubbard. He was starting for Christian McCaffrey for most of last year. So it looks like 1, 2, 3 hits in the 4th round. So this year there's a plenty of 4th-round running backs. We'll look at them guys later, but it looks like just in last year's draft, you're seeing value in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th rounds. And then guess what? We'll get to the 5th round. Kenneth Gainwell, Ben Mason. Not sure what's going on with Ben Mason. I don't even know if he's on the team with the Ravens right now. But Kenneth Gainwell, in dynasty leagues, you guys know Memphis has turned out some good running backs the last few years, and he's a guy that's on dynasty rosters. We're not sure what his workload is going to be this year. What's the future of Philadelphia backfield? We're not sure. But Gainwell, he played well. He scored some touchdowns last year. He's a good player. 5th round, he's worth a roster spot. And then we get to the 6th round. Elijah Mitchell. He's kind of the holy grail here. A guy that just flat out beat Trey Sermon. He was the starting running back after Raheem Mostert went down week 1. So Elijah Mitchell, a 6th-round gem. This is not common. This is a rare sighting. So we have a 6th-round win here. Gary Brightwell, nothing. Larry Roundtree, nothing. Chris Evans looked good as a passing weapon for the Bengals. I like Chris Evans. He's a talented back. When anything happens to Joe Mixon, he's going to be competing for some work as the primary backup with Samaje Perine. So 6th-round talent can be good there. Demetric Felton, I think he's probably not going to be getting a lot of work for the Browns this year. They drafted another running back. But Khalil Herbert, really solid pick here by the Bears. He was starting for a handful of games for the injured David Montgomery. And I think if you have Khalil Herbert on your dynasty rosters, you're feeling pretty good about him. So 6th round running back, I like it. 7th round running backs, probably don't want to be dipping your toes into these guys. So Jake Funk, Jared Dokes, Kylan Hill, Jamar Jefferson. No one really saw a lot of work last year. Kylan Hill got hurt. Jamar Jefferson got hurt. He had a nice game or two. But for the most part, you kind of want to avoid seventh round running back. So let's take a peek, keep it moving. Looking at running backs drafted in the 2020 class, and the first one is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 1st-round running back. We know he was a top 2 or 3 pick in that draft for dynasty drafts. Moving into round 2, this is where you want it to be. Round 2 of 2020, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon. They've all seen their moments, and I think round 2 is a hell of a round to be drafting your running backs, not only for real-life NFL, but for dynasty drafts as well. And I think teams are kind of wising up. Not too many running backs go in the 1st round of drafts anymore. That round 2 is kind of the sweet spot, the early, in the 30s. That's where a lot of the talented running backs go these days. You have to be a Saquon Barkley, generational talent to go in the top 5, top 10 these days. But round 2 in 2020 was a massive hit. So if you see round 2 next to a running back, you probably should whip a flyer at that running back. Round 3 was a bit of a miss in 2020. Keyshawn Vaughn, a lot of people were excited about him, but he's not really showing much in Tampa Bay. Zach Moss, he's shown some bright spots, but he really fell out of favor last year. Devin Singletary kind of took it over. Darrington Evans never really got a shot here. So round 3 was a big miss for 2020. Round 4, Joshua Kelly, LaMichael Pirine, Anthony McFarland, DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas is probably the best one, but it looks like another swing and a miss on round 4. Round 5, you see Jason Huntley, Benjamin, and Raymond Calais. So still no 7th-round running backs. Maybe, Benjamin has a shot this year to be the primary backup in Arizona. But, man, outside of round 2 in 2020, that's where you want it to be. Nothing else really hit. So I'm going to maintain 1st-round and 2nd-round running backs. Those are the holy grails. And round 3 and round 4, we have to look at positioning and think about that a little bit more. But moving on to 2019, only 1st-rounder, Josh Jacobs. You guys know he's doing pretty well. And again, 1st-round running back, he checks the box. Round 2 running back, Miles Sanders. He's had his moments, especially his rookie in his 2nd year. He played really well. He's starting to fall out of favor there. I feel like he's probably going to see a new team soon. But I think if you took Miles Sanders in that 2019 draft, you were pretty happy with what you got. You were able to get some good numbers here, but he just hasn't been scoring touchdowns of late. Now, round 3, in 2020, the round 3 running backs were garbage. But 2019, you got Darrell Henderson, David Montgomery, Devin Singletary, and Damian Harris and Alexander Madison. That's like 5 for 5. All of these guys have had their time in the sun and will continue to do so, especially Damian Harris, Montgomery, and Singletary for now. So round 3, take running backs in round 3. There's a lot of good hit rate here. Round 4, you see Bryce Love, Justice Hill, Benny Snell, round 4 guys. But Tony Pollard, okay, that's one of the first 4th-round running backs that I really, really like. Round 5, not too much to like here. Raquel Armstead, Quadri Ollison, Jordan Scarlett. Round 6, you have Travion Williams, Ty Johnson, Dexter Williams, Travis Homer, Rodney Anderson, Darwin Thompson. So a lot of swinging and missing going on in the 6th. And then round 7, Mike Weber, Cullen Gillespie, Carrot White, and Chandler Cox. Myles Gaskin, though. So there is, every now and then there'll be a gem in the 7th round. But for sure, so far, we're liking rounds 1, 2, and 3 running backs. A little bit of round 4 sprinkled in there. The 2018 draft, I'm seeing Saquon Barkley, Rashad Penny, and Sony Michel, all 1st-round running backs. They've all had their time in the sun. Round 2 running backs, Nick Chubb. Okay, we know we like him. Ronald Jones never really has panned out. He's had some nice seasons for Tampa Bay, but nothing like a feature back would say. Kerryon Johnson just could never stay healthy. I don't even know if he's on a team anymore. Darius Geist, not even worth talking about. And then, so round 2 was kind of hit or miss here, but I do like Nick Chubb in that round. Round 3, Royce Freeman ended up with a lot of promise. He had all the opportunity in the world, but he just couldn't get it done in Denver. But round 4, Naheem Hines, remember Mark Walton, Ito Smith, Kalen Ballage, and Chase Edmonds. So you can get some gems here. Naheem Hines, very useful running back for the Colts. Chase Edmonds, nice to see him getting another contract with another team. Round 5, not much here. Jordan Wilkins. Round 6, though, John Kelly, Boston Scott. Okay, Trenton Cannon. Boston Scott's been pretty good for the Saints. He actually he's been for the Eagles. He's been drafted by the Saints, but he has been having all of his success with Philadelphia. You got David Williams, Bo Scarborough, Nick Bawden, Justin Jackson. Okay, another 7th-round running back that can sometimes get it done, but that's the 2018 class. Let's go on to the 2017. You had two first-round running backs, Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey. Again, first-round running backs, you guys know the names, you know the games. You're taking first-round running backs in your dynasty class. You have Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon in round two. Uh, Lights out round two picks for sure. Round three, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, Deonta Foreman, and James Conner. So this is probably one of the best running back classes we've seen so far. You have hits in all 1, 2, and 3 rounds so far. Basically, the only one that didn't hit was Deonta Foreman, who had that, I think he had the Achilles injury. Round four, you see Samaje Perine, good back. He never really panned out for the Redskins or the Commanders at the time, but he is playing well as a backup to Joe Mixon. You have Tariq Cohen. He did have a couple years with the Bears that were pretty elite. Joe Williams, Donnell Pumphrey. Jamal Williams has had his time. He's been on dynasty rosters and continues to be. Wayne Gallman's also seen some time. Marlon Mack's had some time. So the fourth round was pretty deep that year. Brian Hill, he turned some heads for a little bit there. Jeremy McNichols, TJ Logan, Aaron Jones in the fifth round. He's really, one of the first fifth round guys that we've seen hit. I think the latest one that we've seen hit, though, is Elijah Mitchell in the sixth. But Aaron Jones, the first fifth rounder that I think I've had hit. Round six, Alex Arma, the fullback, D'Angelo Henderson, Sam Rodgers, Brandon Wilson. Nothing here in the sixth round that intrigues me. The seventh round, Devontae Mays, Marquez Williams, Khalfani Muhammad, Elijah Hood. Chris Carson, finally the first, he was a gem. Chris Carson, we did have Myles Gaskin and Justin Jackson up there, but Chris Carson's probably the best seventh round running back that we have seen. But again, it's hard to want to take these guys. And I guess I will do, we're going on about 12 minutes in the video here. Let's do the 2016 recap real quick, and then I'll circle back to the final one here. So 2016, you see Ezekiel Elliott taking in the first round, fourth overall. Derrick Henry, the only running back in the second round. Round three, you see Kenyon Drake, which I think from a dynasty perspective, you've had some good run with Kenyon Drake. He's not much of a factor anymore, but you got your use out of a round three running back. CJ Prosise, the other third round guy, never really panned out. Round four, Tyler Ervin, Kenneth Dixon. I remember Dixon had a lot of fun coming out of if he ever got a shot for the Ravens, I think he got injured, but he was a fun little bowling ball running back. Devontae Booker has managed to get a couple contracts, and he's been valuable at times. DeAndre Washington here in the fifth. Paul Perkins. Jordan Howard, another running back in the fifth round. That's been a lot of fun. Wendell Smallwood's bounced around. Jonathan Williams has bounced around. Alex Collins has seen some light in the sun. But Jordan Howard really had that first couple, 2 or 3 years with the Bears that panned out really well. As far as sixth rounders that year, I'm not really seeing anybody here in seventh rounders. No, I lied. I'm going to do one more just for the fun of it. First round running backs, Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon. Those guys were fun. Remember TJ Yeldon in the second round? Amir Abdullah, he was hyped that year. He didn't really ever pan out, unfortunately. But Tevin Coleman, Duke Johnson, David Johnson, Matt Jones. If you took a running back in the third round, you probably had some fun moments, especially with David Johnson for his Cardinals seasons. Jeremy Langford for the Bears, in and out of the league. Justin Fowler, Buck Allen, and Mike Davis. Some fourth round fun here. David Cobb, Jay Ajayi in the fifth round. Carlos Williams, Michael Burton, Cameron Artis-Payne, and a couple guys here in the sixth round. But that's as far as I'll go. 2014 was kind of a shitty draft, but that's a lot of history. So I just wanted to, just go through the history and show you guys some of the success rates of players here. The website that I use, by the way, is drafthistory.com. And I'm zoomed in here, but if you look at the tabs, you can find drafts by position here and kind of look at running backs, receivers, whatever you want. But to wrap it all together, the 2022 class, I think for sure you want a second round running back. In this order, you want Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, James Cook. Of course, Breece Hall, probably the first or the second pick of your dynasty drafts. Kenneth Walker, I mean, he's got a range of outcomes. He can go 2, 3, 4, 5, and sometimes even later than that. He's generally a top 5 pick. But if a team needs, a running back, or if a team needs a wide receiver, they can take a wide receiver. So it really goes based on needs of the other teams in your league. I do like Kenneth Walker. A little bit nervous about the quality of the Seattle Seahawks team and just how valuable his rushing attempts are going to be for that team the next few seasons. James Cook, though, has a chance in a year or two to be the feature back in Buffalo. He kind of reminds me of a Kareem Hunt. Not really sure he's a great runner. He's a great receiver. Everyone knows that. So if he can continue to learn to run in between the tackles and be an every down back, like just look out. He could be a lot of fun. So I like James Cook at the end of the first round. Rachaad White, I'm not sure about life after Tom Brady. That makes me a little bit nervous. He's a fun back, but again, third round running backs, you see Rashad White, Tyrion Davis Price, and Brian Robinson. One with the biggest buzz is probably Brian Robinson, just because he's linked to Antonio Gibson. And you got Ron Rivera coming out saying, "Oh, we're gonna run a 1-2 punch, just like Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams back in the day." So I don't know about that, but Brian Williams, really fun running back out of Alabama, 98th overall, and basically all these running backs drafted in the top 100. I think they're very valuable picks. Brian Robinson's probably my favorite third round running back. I don't see Tyrion Davis Price getting any love from anybody. A lot of people were surprised about that pick, and for good reason. I get it. He wasn't very productive in college, and he was kind of in a committee for a few seasons there. But man, when he got his chance to shine last year, look at his numbers. He lit it up. And the things that I've read about the 49ers is kind of each year, they've always been kind of an outside zone team trying to stretch it. But lately, they've been especially in 2021, they've been pulling more linemen. They've been running in between the tackles a little more. That's where Tyrion Davis Price fits in. So you might see anything again. It's a revolving door with the San Fran running back for like ever. But Tyrion Davis Price is a good in between the tackles runner, bowling ball. So for me, my third round rankings, I'll go Robinson, Davis Price, Rashad White. Round four, man, I think you want a round four running back this year. Probably my favorite is Isaiah Spiller landing with the Chargers, but he's the clear number two, I think, behind Austin Eckler. If he doesn't get that job, then I'm a little bit worried. So we'll watch for that in training camp. But Isaiah Spiller was once if you looked in February, like people were saying he was the number one running back in this class, man, before the combine. So really good running back. He just didn't test the combine very well. Spiller to the Chargers, amazing fit. You get that Chargers offense. So he's my favorite fourth round running back, followed by Zamir White, who Raiders did not pick up Josh Jacobs or any other player on their team's fifth round or fifth year option. So Zamir White, man, a lot of fun, good first and second down runner. We'll see if he can learn to be a passing weapon. But Zamir White has a bright future if they don't sign Josh Jacobs. Dameon Pierce coming in at number 3 for me. He could be the Texans' starting running back by some point this year. And then Pierre Strong, who they're saying they want to get him involved this year. We know James White not going to be there forever, but they do have Damien Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. So I could see Pierre Strong being the RB4 to start the year. And then just as the war of attrition goes on, he could be a nice guy. But actually, I forgot. I didn't even see Hassan Haskins there in the fourth. I would take Hassan Haskins over Pierce and Strong. He's the backup to Derrick Henry, who has 17,000 carries in the last 5 years, and he's coming off an injury season. So Haskins, at some point, I guarantee you, he's going to be starting a game in 2022 for the lead back for the Titans here. So Haskins, big running back here from Michigan. I think if I can get one of Spiller, White, or Haskins, I'm feeling really good about that. And then the fifth round is interesting, guys. Tyler Algier, that's probably the one that I want from Atlanta. From BYU playing for Atlanta. Snoop Connor, don't really know if I think again he's behind the guys there in Jacksonville, so he's kind of number 3, number 4. Jerome Ford, kind of the number 3, number 4. Kyron Williams, though, maybe the number 3 for the Rams. That's interesting to keep an eye on. Ty Chandler, Kevin Harris here. We're dipping into the 6th round, but I don't really see anyone in the 5th round that I love. If I had to take a 5th round running back, I probably want Tyler Algier. 6th round running backs, you have Kevin Harris from New England, Tyler Batty from Baltimore, Keontae Ingram from the Cardinals. He has a chance to be the number 3, and he could beat out their former pick Eno Benjamin. So keep an eye on Keontae Ingram in the 6th. Not really fans of Tristan Ebner or Connor Hayward. And in the 7th round, Britton Brown, Isaiah Pacheco. I like Isaiah Pacheco. If you're going to take a 7th round running back, that's probably it. But again, the meat of this draft is take a running back in the 3rd or the 4th rounds, or from the 3rd or 4th rounds if you can. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'll throw in Algier because he was the 8th pick of the 5th round. So to me, there's 12 running backs worth a damn in this class, and there's probably a couple more, but I like the chances of all these guys. And again, I just wrapped up a dynasty draft last night, and I came away, I had a 1st round pick. I spent it on a receiver. I traded out of the 2nd round and I just collected 3rd round picks. I came away with Brian Robinson, Zamir White, and Hassan Haskins. So I was pretty jacked up about that. And then guess what? Nobody wanted Tyrion Davis Price. I got him in the 4th round. So I come away with 4 of these running backs. Pretty excited about it. So this was fun. I'm probably going to do some I'll probably do a receiver video. If you guys like this, let me know in the comments below. And again, I did put my rankings. There's a link to my rankings if you want to check out the website. I do have my Dynasty rankings up there as well. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you guys in a future video. Peace. Whoop.